have no water. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Standard Grind. And today we have a very special episode because we did a poll. We did a poll and we asked the people, the Goblin Horde, what is it that you want? What is it if you could have anything? What is it that you want? And 74 of you responded, which is quite a doozy. To me, that is a lot of people taking time out of their day to respond and give me input. So really appreciate you doing it. We're at 1,960 subscribers, almost at 2,000, climbing, and it's because of each and every one of you. So thank you. No, no, this is not video. So as you see, standard got third place after modern and brawl. So because the will of the people are speaking to us. Sound check. The will of the people are. Sounds good. We are going to be jumping in to some brawl, and we're just going to be doing a full brawl episode tonight. It's going to be. We actually had a lot of fun. We were open arena maybe. We were on the NRG camera, so if we go to that's gonna work. Make sure we don't have two open. We do. Jump over here. Let's go to videos, channel. Now we should be able to go to Nerd Rage Gaming. Oh, it's right here. Shout out to Nerd Rage Gaming. We had a awesome night tonight. When did we start? Oh, no. Be around here. So we went 4-0 tonight at Nerd Rage Gaming. We actually played my buddy George Jabor, the creator of Flexslot, the beautiful sideboard guide. Round 1, he had an Orm's Chant on the play. Turn 2, put he had a Isochron Scepter, put an Orm's Chant under it. Turn 2 on the play. So he passes it over to me. I surveil at the end step. I am contemplating my surveil. I decide to leave it on top. Untap keep. This is a very important turn because I have a Creator Maker in play. And I'm thinking that, I don't know what I'm thinking, honestly. I just pass because I forgot to cast. I forgot that I have a 2-drop, and then I realized I have two 2-drops, and I'm just very dumb. The Creator Maker, if resolved, would have been able to shatter the Isochron Scepter. But the issue is that he also had a path. So he would have been able to answer the Creator Maker possibly before I was able to untap with it. And now I'm in a lock, and I'm locked here for a while. This is a really cool take on control with George. We actually, if you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you know that we did a modern grind with Isochron Scepter in Goblins right after MH3 or MH whatever, when Orm's Chat was printed. It was a part of the modern grind. So if you're a fan of MTG grinding, we do a lot of it on this channel. We're doing the standard grind now, creating a big backlog of standard content before we move over to another format. Just a a lot of lands being played. George is going play land, cast spells, hold up Isochron Scepter, has a Narset in play, and casts a Days Undoing, which is each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into the library and then draws 7 cards. But Narset says that you can only draw 1 card each turn. Your opponent cannot draw more than 1 card each turn, so they only draw 1 card. So I have no hand after that point, and so I have to just concede it up because I also can't cast any spells. It's kind of insane. We go to sideboards, and I'm looking at these chalices and the blood moons. Chalice on 1 can prevent Isochron Scepter from being cast. Isochron Scepter locking down a uh, locking down my spells, or like having even just like a removal spell underneath it is really dangerous. So being able to put Chalice on one and kind of just keep them from being able to have their cheap removal, and put the Orm's Chant under the Isochron Scepter, because Chalice on one stops the Orm's Chant from being cast even if it's under the Isochron Scepter. And then Blood Moon I feel like is decent. May not be the greatest thing, but I need to do something. And really the cards that I'm cutting are pretty bad. Munitions Expert's pretty weak. I can cast it through an Isochron Scepter lock, but if they get the lock, I'm pretty much just dead. So the main thing that I look at is, cutting the first thing is the second Warren Instigator, because we don't really need that. Like the first one's amazing, the second one's dead, and it's really bad. So we cut that immediately. We cut the Chain Whirler because this is not a Chain Whirler matchup, and then we cut 3 Munitions Experts, uh, favoring the bodies and the vials because we're bringing in Blood Moon. They don't have George's exact list, so they're just guessing. But this is a blue-eye control list with Orm's Chant. Game 2. This game's a lot closer. I always love playing against George because it's always a good time. Uh, he he always is very expressive, and we always laugh. And yeah, it's cool. It's cool too because we both play a lot of Magic. He's a streamer as well. He's a Twitch streamer. I do, of course, the YouTube channel, and it's just really cool to be able to play with somebody at a high level. We're both 3-0 tonight. Playing our pet decks. He's a control player at heart. I'm a Goblins player at heart, and yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be playing your favorite deck at the highest level with someone that you respect. And so it's always fun to play against George. So I go to 6 because my first hand is bad. This hand is also bad, but it has a Chalice and it has double Vial. If I draw a second land, I can just play my Chalice, and I'm like super excited because I'm like, there's gonna be a land. There's gonna be a land. I'm willing it into existence. In my head right now, I'm like, okay, I have double Vial and 2 drops, and then this 3-drop can become a land. I'm willing this into existence. The top card's gonna be a land. Deep breath. It's gonna be a land. Not even a sliver of hesitation. I have to believe. And George is like, okay, we'll go into 5. Very painful. Puts 2 cards on the bottom. I bolt myself. Well, I guess I don't even have a land. The one land that we do have is the Bog. Bolt myself to play the Vial. Goes tap land, pass. I'll play an arena. The issue is I don't realize that I don't have a mountain. I've totally spaced that this is the one time when my arena is tapped. And shout out to coverage. They shouted us from the side. They're like, you can't do that. That land is super tapped. And I'm like, oh, that's my bad. Get it out of here. I just don't cast it. And this land is very tapped. Nothing else changes. Go to my turn, untap, draw. We forget our Vial trigger because we were a little bit flustered. We forgot that was how that worked. We don't like messing up, and that's how that goes. Now the Chalice can come down after we play our second Vial, locking off cheap removal. Instant speed spot removal is very strong, and Chalice understands that your opponent has to put a premium on the cost that they can pay for the removal. And so 1-mana removal is like the best thing in this format. And Chalice is sometimes just the best card in the world because of that. So here we begin grinding. I don't have a lot. I have a Snoop. I'm thinking about comboing. He taps out for a Jace. This is like the turn. I see that he Fate Seals me, which tells me that because he didn't Brainstorm, he has the Solitude. He knows I'm a combo deck. He sees the Vial on 2. He doesn't brainstorm looking for interaction because he has it. He's totally comfortable. He doesn't look flustered at all. So in my head, I'm like, okay, we're just going to be playing a mid-range game then. This Snoop is going to draw a removal. This Matron almost grabs a Ringleader, but I decided to grab a Harbinger instead to threaten the combo because it's nice to have the option to go infinite. It's nice to have the option to do it. And instead of just doing it immediately and trying to go off, put a Kiki Jiki on top, exile the Kiki Jiki. It's weird. Usually you just jam the combo. You make your opponent have a Solitude. Possibly didn't have anything there, and he jaced and just hoped. However, now I'm able to change my Harbinger target. I'm able to, I have more agency. The issue is that this Jace is going to stop whatever my Harbinger targets, unless I do it in the end step. My phone's at low battery on the screen, tears. 3 cards in hand. Basically, at this point, there's a possibility that I should have jammed, but if I get blown out and then blown out on my turn, Supreme Verdict on their turn, so now George is trying to figure out what am I going to put on top, because now I force him to use the Solitude again. If I put the Kiki on top, but the issue is then you can just bottom it immediately. So I put the Sling Gang on top because I end up feeling like I need to push damage. So now I sack 3 to drain for 3. The Sling Gang is on top. I confuse the life totals. This is like one of the only times I'm not actually keeping track on my pen pad for coverage, and I'm doing a really bad job. But Tutor, put that on top. Then the Jace upticks to put it on the bottom. End step, I'll put the Crater Maker into play. Start schmacking. There's a bunch of cards we could find that are really good here. We should have played the Harbinger after the Supreme Verdict. Let the 2 creatures die. Let that resolve. Put a Ringleader on top in the end step. Go to my turn, cast the Ringleader. We would have been totally fine. As is, we're in a pretty bad spot where we're looking for value, and we're very behind. 2 upstairs. Trying to figure out whether or not I play the Trawler with my mana or with my Vial. I realized definitely with the Vial. That's why you think sometimes your hands just do things and you have to think about why you're doing things first. George still has the Solitude, and he's really trying to figure out how he can win with this Jace. I just keep putting creatures in play, and I didn't play a land, which means the 2 cards in my hand are not lands. So he's kind of puzzled. Brainstorm. So now I feel like I'm kind of at parity with him, because if he's brainstorming, that means there's cards that he doesn't want. Has the fetch land, 3 cards in hand. Hard casts Big Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Grabs a basic. thins the library just a little bit. He's going to draw that card. Draws, untaps those lands. End step, I put a bog in, hitting the graveyard. The card was a land. Now I try to figure out, who do I attack? For coverage, it's 14 attacking, 5 at the Teferi. Teferi down. Thinks about it. Is trying to figure out whether or not this board is worth anything. Decides that the Teferi drew a card. It's good enough to just let it go. Draws a bunch of really good cards. Tries to figure out what order to put them back in. Plays the Cephalid. Play the Narset. Yeah, so that exchange was really cool. George plays the Narset, thinks about whether or not he can down ticket. Then he takes a deep breath and he says, "This is a really close game. This is a really good game." And then I smile and I go, "Yeah, it's really nice when both players, like can appreciate the game and enjoy what they're doing. Like he has a million decision points. I have like less, but like it's how I play through his removal, the way that I sequence my threats, and like it's always like an eternal struggle, like control versus aggro, control versus combo, and it's just such a cool thing to play against a friend. Shout out to George. He either gusts the Creator Maker. I forget that I have the Lord, and so then I put the Creator Maker on top instead of on the bottom. As soon as I put it on the bottom, I'm like, wait, I want to put that on top. Now this game is kind of a slog. We sit here and we kind of just like I try to punch through his planeswalkers. I try to punch through like the damage to his face. Grabs the Supreme Verdict. Slam, wham, jam, damn, that man, Supreme Verdict. My creatures die. I got 2 death triggers. The Creator Maker was on top. Because we know we have the Lord, that's like our insurance policy is to like have the creature on top. So it's really important if you're in that situation and they're either gusting you, put the creature on top. Life lessons with Goblin Ringleader. Fate seals me. End step, I'll put a Sling Gang into play. And then trigger on the stack. It says trigger resolves. I get my guys. Shout out to my boy Sadib. Untap out keep. Play land. Cavern on Goblin. I'm thinking about whether or not it's worth hasting the Crater Maker, and I'm thinking that after he board wipes another time, it'll just be better to have the arena active next turn, because he could probably just Supreme Verdict again. He's looking at enough cards. And marches the Chalice of the Void by paying 2 mana, plays the Isochron Scepter, puts the Aura Enchant under it, passes the turn. Fate Seals me. That card goes to the bottom. I'm like, what is it? He's like, that card's whatever you want it to be. I'm like, that's a matron. He's like, yep. End step, I'll Crater Maker, sack to kill the Isochron Scepter. This is when he says, oh, I messed that up. I'll tell you after the match. And afterwards, he tells me that he has a Path to Exile in his hand. So he could have pathed my Crater Maker and then played the Isochron Scepter with the Aura Enchant. And then he super wins this game. No cards in hand, go to combat, attack. I'm doing the math on how fast he can ult this Jace. If I attack 1 at the Jace, it's a 2 turn. It takes him 2 turns to ult it. He passed the Sling Gang. I sack it instead of Drain Gain. Get an extra guy. Oh, pick up the deck. But nope, that's not how that works, because I sacked it and the spell fizzled. It takes the damage, goes to 8. So now it's 3 turns, I believe. No, it's still 3 turns. I need to attack with 2 to make it a 3 turn. Make it 3 turns to ult. Fate Seals me again, goes to 10. This is another good card. Card goes to the bottom. Plays another Isochron Scepter. And a Path to Exile. Untap upkeep goes to 1. Draw. It's a Snoop. It's a hasty Snoop. We decide to haste it in case there's something else really good on top. Hasty uncounterable Snoop. What could it be? But a mountain. He has a Path to Exile under the Isochron Scepter, and I'm really interested here because when I go to attack his Jace with my 2/1/1s, he casts Path on a Goblin. So then he ramps me. He also changes the top card and leaves me with the Snoop. And he realizes it as soon as he does it. And now there's a Blood Moon on top. He's like, that's important. He's like, that might be slightly important. And now, still in the end step, he makes me mill because he doesn't want the Blood Moon coming into play. Top card is now a Harbinger, so I can combo. Lay out my graveyard real nice so everybody can see it. Purge the Snoop. It's very gone. I don't get the top card with Harbinger until 2 turns from now, so that's pretty sad. Untap upkeep, draw the Harbinger. Pass it over because I know I can end step. It doesn't matter if they Fate Seal me. Put the Harbinger in play, put the Ringleader on top, draw Ringleader, Violet it in. Dies to exactly consign. This was all because we chose not to go for it on the turn when we could have comboed. Days Undoing. I decide to, in response to the Days Undoing, violin the Boggart Harbinger, so at least I have the creature in play. For the content, I'll put the Ringleader on top with the Harbinger, and then it gets shuffled away for the Days Undoing. And he's like, no, he's like, well, you should just like, just put it on top. And I go, no, I'd rather work hard for my losses than cheat for my wins. And that's how I feel about Magic, and that's how I feel about life. If you're gonna and Days Undoing lets me draw a card. Look how fair that Magic card is. See, they draw 7, I draw 1. Totally fair. I draw another card. This card is kind of busted. It's a Matron. Matron's good. Okay. I feel pretty dumb. Go get a Ringleader. Or like I don't feel really dumb. This is very dumb. These plays are gonna be very strong. Ringleader in. Get 4 cards. We hit Snoop, Instigator, Kiki-Jiki. I tell him, you might be dead. He's like, what? No way. I'm like, yeah, I have a Warren Instigator and a Kiki-Jiki. You might just be dead. Haste up this Warren Instigator. Split the mana. Uncounterable. Also cast... I'm thinking, because I need to be able to cast a Sling Gang. He's like, do you even need it? I'm like, yes, I do need it. And then they stop me and they go, Days Undoing shuffles the graveyard in. And I'm like, oh no, I totally forgot. And then George decides to scoop just because he's like one game rule violation. We were joking. Everybody around us was joking the whole match. They're like, how many game rule violations do you have? Yeah, so the commentators mentioned the judge's fix to that is you just shuffle your graveyard in your library. You don't lose a game or anything. But George, with the slight sequencing that he talked about, he mentioned to me after the match, would have definitely won that game and the match. And then we go to a game 3. We go to a pretty solid game 3. Let's fast forward a little bit. I think I'm at 6 because my hand is bad. There's always better hands. It's nice to trust in your deck, and no, you know what? I think that I'll be okay. I think that the cards, there's always a better hand, trust. And this hand's a lot better. It has a vial, it has a Sling Gang, it has a Matron. Bottom, it's either the fetch land or the Blood Crypt. The hand has 4 lands. It's whether or not we want to thin or we want to take that extra 2 damage from the Blood Crypt. We decided that the thinning is not as important as the untapped land. So we keep the Blood Crypt. This allows us to just go turn 1, play Vial. We could have had 2 fetch lands. Could have fetched for a basic here, been at 19. Had one less land in my deck. Opponent mill a path. I go flex because I countered his path with my existence. Vial takes up. Hard cast a Snoop. Chalice on top. Chalice is pretty good here. Just heads up that this is what I'm going to do. I drew the Blood Moon for the turn, which is crazy. Purges the Snoop. You don't expect Snoop to live for long ever. It's one of those things. You got to be okay with losing him. Untap upkeep. Chalice goes, or Vial goes to 2. Chalice to my hand. I have the decision between Blood Mooning here or playing Chalice. Decide to play Chalice on 1 so that I can get this fetch and this Surveil. So I have 1 less land in my deck, and I have a Surveil trigger to set up my draw before I cast the Blood Moon. This Vial is eventually going to get to 4, so I can get the Sling Gang that's stuck in my hand in play, because I won't be able to cast it now that I have a Blood Moon in play. Instinctually going for a basic, but actually we have to find a Surveil land, second from the top. Surveil. Untap upkeep. Draw. He's missed 2. I ask him as I draw, this is 2 land drops you've missed? And he says, yeah, it's true. He says Blood Moon's okay. He has a response. He plays 3 steps ahead. But he can't pay for any sprees, and I'm dying. And they're like everybody's dying because that's such a good money. That's such a good moment. Such a good fucking play. They're like in commentary, they're like, hey, you can't do that, you need to choose a mode. I'm like, that's kind of insane. He's like, I do what I want. I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, it did what it needed to. Anyways. He's like, I did choose a mode. The mode is to do nothing. He plays Isochron Scepter, I Violin, a Matron, EOT. Untap. Matron's gonna go grab Creator Maker because I want to cast my spells, god damn it. This will be able to blow up the Isochron Scepter. It takes up to 4, so I can use my okay, cool. I was like, why did I was watching this earlier and asked myself, why did I tap the Blood Crypt or the Bloodstone Myers? Because I have a Blood Moon. I was really frustrated. I was like, damn it, I messed something up. But here we have a Sling Gang at the end step, 2 tokens, untap, goes to 5. We top deck a Kiki Jiki last turn. So we get to put a Kiki in play and then hard cast another Sling Gang, copying the Sling Gang and making 6 total tokens that turn. Or I guess 4 total tokens. Swinging in, sacking them all. So much dumbness. And yeah, shout out to George for being an amazing pilot of Blue Eye Control. Just a pillar of the Magic community in general. And yeah, shout out to Dom and May for commentating. Both absolute legends in their own right.